It's finally happening. You've been asking for it for a long time. We are letting Kush loose with the Christmas main course.
He is off the reins, and you've asked him for turkey, which you're not a fan of, are you?
No, I don't do turkey at Christmas.
Then what are we making this video for?
It's been the most requested thing. How do I stop a turkey being dry? How do I cook a turkey and everything else at home? How do I make the best turkey possible? Is a turkey just a big fat chicken? You know, we'll answer all those questions today, hopefully.
We've done turkey a lot of ways over the years, but you're going to go one step further, no holes barred, unlimited, off the reins. How are you starting?
First of all, big tip, never try and roast a whole turkey. They're just too big for your oven. And they're made up of 2 different joints that are gonna cook at different times and temperatures. Right, so I'm gonna break the turkey down into constituent parts. I'm gonna stuff the legs. So I'm essentially making a turkey pig in blanket. Is that right? A pig in a turkey blanket.
A pig in a turkey blanket.
Yeah, so we're gonna bone the legs, stuff it with sausage meat, guanciale, truffle and roasted mushrooms, wrap it in smoked bacon, set it with meat glue, my favorite, and then cook it overnight really slowly, then chill it. Then a week later, we'll roast it. So I'm going in either side of the breast.
That's great.
We'll flip it over and pop the hip joint out.
Okay.
And then get the oyster out.
It's a wonderful sound, ball and socket joint.
Yeah, we've got the oyster of the meat here. I'm gonna go in with a knife and just follow the seam. And see the knife, it's not really moving that much.
And so you said this was a specific boning knife?
Yeah, so traditional boning knife. The shaft and the handle should always come down and protect your fingers. Because when you're working on this and you hit something solid and you've got a slippery hand, your hand will naturally go forward, but this way it stops it. And you can hold it like this, which is traditional for boning out meats and joints.
And yet, although it's a boning knife, you're not cutting through bone there.
No, I'm just cutting through where the joints meet. So that's the hip joint. This is the breast, this is where the leg was. So this can stay really sharp because you're never chopping with it. It's quite hard and odd to chop with if you ever try. Take the breasts off. The breasts are just going to be seasoned, let to rest overnight, and then poached in butter, and then roasted and coloured.
Now, a lot of people are saying, what's a more affordable Christmas option? Turkey, certainly a whole turkey, is going to be more expensive, but how can you keep costs down?
So the star of the show here today is the leg, because we're going to augment the leg with a lot of pork. So sausage, guanciale.
Have you ever augmented your leg?
I think a doctor offered to do that once and I ran out of their office quite quickly.
Yeah, we're going to add sausage, bacon and guanciale. So all 3 things quite rich, flavoursome, fatty, all 3 things seasoned and salty, and relatively inexpensive, bar the guanciale. But you can swap that for pancetta or just leave it out because it's sausage meat.
I am so excited for
Trio
this.
of pig to augment the leg.
Yes, so we've now got carcass. Wings on a turkey, there's some meat, but they're very bony and stringy. You're not really going to benefit from trying to roast them, and there's only 2. So all of that gets chopped up and roasted off. Start at 220 in the oven for about 40 minutes, and then reduce the temperature to 160 for an hour. And you should end up with that.
And that is the start of
The gravy.
the best gravy you'll ever have ever.
Wow, okay.
Really nice, crispy, golden brown. Loads of mild reaction, loads of flavour. That into a large stock pot or 3. Cover it with water, some bay leaves, definitely, and some herbs like thyme and rosemary. Bring it to a simmer and cook it. And you're making a simple turkey stock. That'll take about 3 hours, but this can be done way in advance if you do this process in advance. So I'm taking the legs apart. So we've got our thighs, I'll just do 1, and our drumsticks. Unlike a chicken, we have solid sinew inside here and tendons. Because the turkey's a lot bigger, it grows a bit longer, it's got a lot more weight. All those soft bits that you get in a chicken have solidified and turned it into almost cartilage and bone. So we need to get those out. That's one reason I don't do turkey at home, because the butchering process is quite long. So we've taken the excess cartilage out of the drumstick. You see these white pieces here. With this process, these can stay in, but anything solid, just feel with the fingers, has to come out. And we've got the thigh. We're going to whip the skin off these, and then we're going to tenderise them, because we need it to be tender and succulent, because it's going with sausage, so we want a nice soft product at the end. This can be quite bouncy because they've done a lot more work, especially on a really big turkey. A Kelly bronze, that might weigh, up to 10, 15 kilos and feed 20 people. It needs to be tenderised. So we're going to use a gadget that we tested a while ago to do that. All of these bones and skin and sinew will go into our stock, so no wastage there. Remember this?
Yeah, the tenderizer.
Tenderizer, yeah. So this will puncture holes throughout the leg. We'll do this on both legs, and this will allow flavour to go through, and it'll cut through any really strong protein bonds and make it nice and tender. So, all the leg meat here, thighs, oysters, all been battered out, some with a rolling pin because a big girthy baby came in yesterday, and then all smashed down. This is going to go to the side, and we're going to pull out the first bit of pork.
So I feel like now you're talking Jamie's language, because would you say, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but a pig in a blanket, is Christmas complete without it?
Absolutely not. Is any day complete without a pig in a blanket?
Pork wrapped in pork.
Bacon makes everything better.
Yes.
So we've got two types of pork here. That's going to go inside. We have standard sausage meat. This is, I think, a Cumberland sausage blend. No real fillers, no herbs in there. Quite a neutral base, but a good amount of fat in it. We have some guanciale. Dice that up, and that's going to go in. We have portobello mushrooms. So this process took about an hour. So diced portobello mushrooms, or any large flat mushrooms, or buttons, doesn't really matter for this, but I like the large, the meaty texture you get. Roasted in butter with garlic, thyme and rosemary for about 20 minutes on a low heat in a big saucepan till it gets lovely caramelised and golden brown. I've then gone in with marsala, which is a sweet wine, and deglazed that and brought that right down, and it's all soaked up all that flavour. So have a little taste.
I mean, that in itself is not far off like Duxelles kind of vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So really meaty, bags of flavour, the garlic and the herbs in there, and that's going to go in. This is going to pepper the farce or the stuffing with little bits of dark.
Oh, I love this. You've done a massive process before getting to the massive process that will go into the massive process.
But this massive process has been done in advance. If you're going to do it, why don't you make a bit more and whack that on some crostinis, and suddenly you've got little fancy canapes. You don't have to tell everyone it's exactly the same they're going to be eating later on.
Or turn it into mini meatballs, roast them off, and then do lovely spaghetti bolognese, spaghetti meatballs, and a few days later, something a bit lighter. So lighter. We're playing down the mushroom route, the earthy flavours. Guanciale, lovely earthy pigginess, sausage meat, mushrooms, and a bit of minced truffle. Just from the supermarket.
Of course.
It's Christmas.
Finally, we're going to go in with a bit of freshness, some parsley. But I'm not going to chop it, I'm just going to put it through the machine.
I am so excited for this.
Oh, you can press the button then.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Thanks.
So is this essentially a stuffing?
It's a pimped sausage, which is a stuffing. A lot of stuffings at Christmas have nuts and fruit and loads of bread going through it, where there's no breadcrumbs, there's no filler. It's very meaty, and I want to keep the fruit separate because you've got cranberry chutney, you've got fruit with your cheese. Rather than putting fruit in this, then everything starts to taste the same, like honey roast carrots, honey roast parsnips, fruit, it all becomes a bit too much. And I think stuffing should be like this. So that is nice and sticky, and that is going to go inside the leg. And then I'm going to wrap it in more pig.
So in terms of affordability,
Yes.
there's probably more weight there than there is in the original expensive turkey.
Well, this is a frozen turkey, so very inexpensive in comparison. But we could have done this process with 2 turkey drumsticks that you can buy from the supermarket. So you don't need the breasts. You don't get the carcass to make the stock, but you can cheat that.
And in your opinion, would this be better with chicken than turkey?
I did this with chicken last year, yes.
Right.
Because I bought boneless, skinless chicken thighs, no butchery. I made the gravy, I think a few months ago, months before, and had it out of the freezer. So I just bought some sausage meat, made this up, took me about an hour. No butchery really. It was a lot more convenient, less expensive, and everyone had the ideal portion. No breast, just leg.
So I love the fact that you live outside the barriers of tradition. You know, someone like myself who loves tradition and authenticity and things like that. This is really eye-opening.
You put your turkey in a burrito wrap, right?
You absolutely could with this recipe.
I've made my own wrapping paper.
If someone gave me that as a present.
So this is called bacon paper. Yeah.
I like that.
So all I've done here is rolled out some cling film and put some very finely sliced smoked bacon on it. You want it really thin because we're going to double wrap it, like a double penne, so it can't...
Double blanket.
Double
It's
blanket,
really cold outside.
Double blanket. So the process that I'm going to do, I'm going to start and not stop because it can get quite involved. Okay. I'm going to put meat glue down and then the turkey, bit of salt, meat glue, then the stuffing, bit of meat glue, roll it all up and tie it with some cling string. So we're gonna go down with our first layer of meat glue.
Something that I guarantee 99% of people watching this video will not have at home, which is why this is so much fun.
Now you've used it, Jay.
Yes.
You've used it with the venison sausage.
And you quite enjoyed using it and you got great results from it. Have you gone to the effort of getting some for home and done it in your own time, or is it just a sorted, the cameras are rolling, I need to do something special?
I haven't used it at home. I haven't even thought about using it at home, if I'm honest. It was fairly easy to work with.
Oh yeah, you can buy this from famous rainforest-based selling websites.
eBay.
Yeah, that one, the other one, yeah. It lives in the freezer. I've got a tub at home because I'll do stuff like this now and again. And I know there's a lot of comments on all our videos saying,
be careful,
be
PPE,
careful,
blah, blah, blah.
It will bond proteins together, so you shouldn't be inhaling this. Hence why I'm standing back here, arm's length, and doing it gently. I'm not doing it from up here
And
over my head, yeah. It will cause you some damage if you inhale it, but again, lots of things in
Bind your
kitchens.
throat and your airway.
Yeah.
Probably not great.
No, but from a distance, it's fine. It's all going down. There's no big fan on here. We used to have to put full masks on when we did it in restaurants, but that's because you've got air conditioning blowing and lots of people walking
ventilation.
past. Yeah. So onto this, we're going to go turkey leg meat and leave a little border at the bottom and a little border at the top, actually probably just halfway. So I like to make sure that I've got kind of a right angle with a little overlap at the side. That means when you roll it up, it will become a nice, neat log. So just a little bit here. So this is an oyster that I trimmed off, but that just goes in there. And then there's a little pocket here, so another little bit that goes in there. So a little bit of salt, touch more of the magic powder, not MSG.
It's very Christmassy, that.
Very Christmassy.
very Christmassy.
Powder
Sticking
snow.
your
Put that
meat-
over your mince
Yeah.
pies.
Yeah. So meat glue is the transglutaminase, it is the enzyme, but also it has powdered gelatin in it that we don't really mention. That will add more protein and bonding structure to it.
And more pork.
Fourth pork, yeah.
Fourth pork, yeah. Broken the fourth wall. We're gonna take our meat, just trying to get it into a shape early. So once it's down, it's down. We don't want to keep on lifting it and mixing it about. So measure it, just eyeball it, and that goes into the center.
You've made like a stuffing Wellington.
Yeah.
An all meat Wellington.
An all meat Wellington.
Why waste time on crepes?
Yeah. Touch more meat glue on top, just to make sure you've got a nice, strong bond.
Does meat glue have any taste, flavour, bitterness? Will it distract from all the wonderful seasoning you've done? Is it salty?
Zero. Absolute zero. It's an enzyme, a filling agent, like a bulking agent, which you find in lots of foods, and then powdered gelatin, so it can get quite sticky when using it. And now we're going to pick the cling film up and roll it into a log.
Like when you're rolling a Wellington, you've deliberately left plenty of bacon the other side.
Definitely. So we're going to go bacon all the way over till it touches the stuffing. Release the cling film and then roll it away from me, always keeping tension on the cling film. As you can see, I've got quite a big cling film here, and we will use a lot of it. So we're going to go up and over and then push down just to get any excess air that might be in there out. And you can see it starting to form the shape.
That looks remarkable.
I'm going to pull towards me, push away, then up and over again.
It's so mesmerising.
And then we've got this lovely...
The stripes of the bacon, it just looks,
And now what we're going to do is roll it into quite a tight log using the cling film to get tension.
Okay.
This is done in restaurant kitchens for all manner of processes.
No air pockets.
No air pockets, you don't need a vacuum pack bag. We're not going to use any string to tie it. We're just going to roll it, pushing away as we go. And also you're building up a layer on the outside which gives it a bit more structure. So now we're going to pinch the ends and push in.
And if you didn't have a lot of cling film, you'd have torn that.
yeah.
So we're going to push in, that gives structure. Come and poke it, Jimmy. Poke my sausage. How firm is it?
Oh, that is a very firm sausage.
Yeah, but as I release the pressure, now poke it. Softens off.
Softens.
Yeah. So build the pressure up, roll it through, and now we want to get nice long ends so we can tie it. So more cling film, turn it to the side, make a bit of a...
Christmas cracker.
Make a cracker, yeah. So that's done with. Take cling film, pull it, and you've got a very nice, strong, slightly elastic bit of plastic there, which we can use to wrap this in. So you've got a nice, tight one there, and then we're going to poke down with this and spin it and it'll seal it into a log and then tie it in a double knot. This goes in the fridge overnight or for, I'd say 2 days, 3 days max. Or you can freeze it. Once it's cooked, this freezes excellently because all the free water has gone out of it. It's all been cooked into it.
So you'll freeze it once it's cooked?
Yeah. If you froze it when it's raw, you've got all the ice crystals that might form and soften the meat. But once it's cooked, it'll freeze fine.
Okay. Even if you've had a frozen turkey in the first place?
Once it's cooked, yes. Because once you change the state of a protein, you can freeze it again.
Okay.
So defrost it, it's raw. Once you cook it, you can refreeze it. So that will sit in the fridge. Tomorrow, 66 degrees Celsius in a water bath or a steaming oven for 4 hours.
Completely hands off.
Completely hands
Effortless.
off. Yeah.
Completely heads off, as long as you've got sous vide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put this in the fridge and then come back.
That's what I do like about this, because I hear it, it's like you can't move away from tradition, because the turkey is the centrepiece.
Yeah.
When you serve this up, and if you allude to the fact that it is a 4, 5, 6 day process, that becomes a centrepiece.
Yeah.
So while the leg is chilling, the breasts, which I've got 2 more here, these have been seasoned overnight and they've become dry on their skin. So lightly salting the breast, leaving it overnight uncovered in the bottom of the fridge, will dry the skin out, and it's called a dry brine almost. It'll impart the flavour of the salt into the meat. I'm not going to add any herbs to this because the gravy's going to be so flavoursome, you don't really need that. These vacuum pack with butter, cook at the same temperature for the same amount of time. 66 for 4 hours. They'll be perfectly juicy and tender, and then on the day we just roast it off, which I'll show you.
So you would serve like turkey 2 ways?
If you're buying a whole turkey, you want to serve a whole turkey. But honestly, I wouldn't buy the whole turkey. I'd get chicken thighs or turkey drumsticks and do that. Because the worst part of a turkey...
Kind of excited for butter poached breast though.
What we're going to make now is the gravy. So this is a technique that we did in Bath. We took turkey stock, which we'd made from all the bones and chicken stock, reduced that right down. So you've got this lovely jelly and the turkey fat and chicken fat on top. I'm going to take the fat off, but then we're going to add in butter instead, because butter is a different kind of fat. It's dairy. There's a different mouthfeel. Herbs, garlic, and some lemon peel. All of that is going to go and be blitzed into the gravy. And by blitzing it in, you're going to emulsify it to get a nice, rich, thick, viscous texture, mouthfeel, rather than adding flour. So that's chicken stock and turkey in there. So no other animals. I'm going to put some wine for some freshness and some zing, some masala to mirror the flavour and the sweetness and that dark flavour coming out of the leg. So I'm going to make brown butter. Always like brown butter, adds another level of flavour for free. I'm going to throw in rosemary, thyme, whole peeled garlic cloves, lemon zest, cook that for about a minute, deglaze it, and then add the stock into that, and strain it and stick blend it. So this can be done, again, quite a way in advance.
Doesn't split.
Doesn't split out.
For me, look at that fat. Cook some rice in that with some ginger and garlic, Hayley's chicken. Excellent.
There's one of these of water and one of these of chicken stock over the turkey carcass. Cooked for about an hour and a half, strained off through a colander, and then boiled down in a pan. So you've gone from 2 of those to that visually.
Wow.
And that's why it's bouncy.
That's why it's going to be intense.
Yeah, it's got all the gelatin out, all the bones from the turkey, the neck, and that with the butter will do, I don't know, 6 very hungry people, because it's quite a small turkey. But you can bulk this out by making it a bit lighter and a bit thinner if we need to, but we're going for, no holds barred today, so.
And this is why it's slightly different perhaps to the traditional centrepiece turkey, jugs of gravy that you pour all over. This is going to be so rich. You're not going to want your plate swimming in this stuff. This is a nod to a gravy, not buckets of the stuff.
Yeah. So we're going to go in with a good amount of butter into our large pan and cook this till it's very nutty and brown.
But not burnt. I think that's the bit where I have struggled before, is all the impurities burn.
Do you want to come and make it then?
Okay.
Come on.
I'm in.
You're in, right. So you're going to pull it on and off the heat. So it's started to foam. You can see the brown bits on the bottom of the pan.
Yeah.
They're starting to catch. We're just going to keep on rubbing those off. So that is our brown butter. It's come up to a foam. The sizzling has nearly stopped. So we're going to go in with our herbs. It's going to make a splattering. By doing this, you're getting all the aromatic volatile compounds and oils out and into the butter. This is then going to take all the fresh herbs into our sauce. And we're doing this at the end There are no herbs in the base of this really, because once
Bay leaves, very important.
There's a bay leaf in the beginning, but all of that flavour will be cooked into it, but you'll lose that freshness. Just cooked for hours. When the kitchen smells delicious, it's because you're smelling all the volatile compounds and it's come out already. This way, we're adding the flavour in at the end, where it's going to be most impactful.
I'm going to go sit back down.
Okay, fine.
Are you glad you did that, Jay?
I'm glad I did that.
Right, garlic in. Not looking to roast this till it's dark brown or anything like that. Just start to get the flavours out of it.
Already, that smells incredible.
Yeah.
The whole room.
Yeah.
It smells great.
And we go with the lemon peel, marsala.
Same thing when in your mushrooms.
Yep. Goes in for flavour and a touch of sweetness. White wine for acidity to cut through all the richness. I'm going to boil this for 30 seconds. None of the reduce it by half stuff with white wine. 20 more seconds and then dump in this puck of jelly.
Like a wine gum.
That looks like the biggest stock cube I've ever seen. You're like a
shine on it though. That's
Knorr
excellent.
pot.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Oh.
And go in.
So Kush, obviously gravy is important, but
Gravy.
as are condiments on the Christmas table, and Dom is asking, recipes for cranberry sauce aren't just put it on poultry.
Pretend it's chutney on a cheese board in February, surprise some people. Get some good vinegar, put it in a pan and make your own cranberry ketchup. Slather that over a sausage sandwich when it's bitterly cold in February, lovely. Add vinegar, a bit more honey, some Chinese spice and lacquer a duck with it.
Lacquer a duck.
Lacquer a duck.
Yeah, but just forget that it's Christmas and it's a cranberry product and it is naturally just a fruit jam.
On a similar line, mince meat. Like as in mince pie mince meat. Because I think we've still got a jar in the fridge from last year, which we used half of to make mince pies and then didn't make any more.
I think those spices do lend themselves to a particular time of year, but that's only a tradition. Like stirring it through custards and putting it through stewed fruit, adding it to a crumble, always great.
Yep, that's nearly there. Touch of pepper. This is our turkey leg once it's been cooked and chilled.
Looks like a turkey leg in a bandage, but yeah.
So, it's weighty. It's all bonded and stuck together because of the meat glue. And we're going to colour this off in a nice hot pan.
So that's had the 4 hours at 66 degrees in a sous vide.
Yep. Chilled overnight, put it in an ice bath first and then put it in the fridge overnight. And then today I've taken it out of the cling film and I've saved all the jelly that's leaked out through the sausage meat. And that has the flavour of the marsala, the mushrooms, the turkey, and that's going to go in so we waste nothing.
Oh, wow.
Why the ice bath after cooking it?
So you want to get this down to fridge temperature, 5 degrees, as quickly as possible. So if you put it into the fridge, this will be at 66. The core will stay at that temperature overnight because the fridge isn't going to shock it quick enough. You put it into an ice bath, it'll bring the temperature down as quickly as possible, and that's just to stop any microbial action and keep it food safe.
But that's still in the sous vide bag, you're not just giving it a wash.
No, not
You're
a
not
wash.
diluting all that deliciousness.
Not at all, no. So that, we're going to go into a large non-stick pan and colour off and then carve up. We're going to strain our gravy off. I'm going to pull the turkey breast out, that's been butter poaching, and we're going to not chill that, we're just going to roast it in a pan as well. So we're nearly there.
Yes.
You want to eat something?
Serve it up.
Serve it up, right.
Turkey 2 ways with a dollop of gravy. It's like the most incredible jus that's then butter emulsified.
Because it's come to a boil, it is nearly emulsified anyway, but all we're going to go and do in...
But you've strained it, so why are we blending it?
So the butter's still in there. So
Right.
if we didn't do this, it would split out and you'd end up with a very fatty sauce with oil separated from the actual jus, the liquid.
You can get those gravy jug boats that pour from the bottom.
Yep.
So that you basically leave all the fat skims to the top. And what you're basically doing is making sure that that fat stays in and gives you a wonderful mouthfeel.
Lovely viscous mouthfeel and a lovely, almost the lighter, creamier texture. So that's just going to sit here. So we're going to go in with some neutral oil, just veg oil, into a non-stick pan. I would say non-stick for this, just because the amount of gelatin in here and the stickiness, if any juice comes out, it will bond to the pan. So not medium-high heat. That's going to go in. I'm just going to cook this on all sides for about a minute, rolling it over to get lovely, crispy bacon. That'll go back onto the tray, ready for later. Or you carve it and do it as slices.
So slice it now, yeah.
I slice it because it just
You could
takes away
slice
all
and
of
put it
that.
under the grill, but you're going to dry it out.
Yeah.
So this way you're keeping that moisture.
Looking for lovely golden brown all over. So take your time. Do this in the morning with a lovely coffee and some sherry.
But also 4 hours of cooking this in a water bath, you've rendered out all the fat, so this will colour up nicely without any risk of...
And I've drained off the juice, that's key. If you took this straight out of the bag and threw it in a pan, it would pretty much explode. Scrape off all the juice, wipe it down with some kitchen towel and put the juice into your gravy.
Oh, the smell.
While that's going, I'm going to get the breasts out of the steamer.
This is OTT for sure, but Bethan's asking, how can I do a more affordable Christmas?
More affordable. I think it comes back to the simplicity. Stick to the leg. The breast is more expensive. A turkey on its own, you're looking at 70, 80, 110 pounds from a supermarket, let alone a specialist butcher. Stick to the leg meat, go with chicken. At the end of the day, with this amount of pork in it, it doesn't really matter what it is. And focus on vegetables as well. Stuff your mushrooms with beef. Throw that through pasta as a little starter. That's one roll. You get 2 out of a turkey. So a couple of packs of stuffing or sausage meat, 2 big turkey legs. You get 2 of these. Plenty of protein to go around.
And then bulk up the plate with your roasties, your lentils, all those dishes you did on the sides.
So what we've got there is lovely colour all over. I'm going to take it onto our roasting tray. So at this stage, you can slice it up and put it flat on a tray for easy serving, or put it to one side, warm it through a very gentle oven later. Remember, this is only cooked at 66 degrees, so we don't want to roast it at 200 for an hour, because that'll take away all the nuance of the delicate meat. And then you put that on the table, and you can carve the slices. There's no bone to worry about. Everything's going to be even. No one can complain.
That on a board is still a centrepiece for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we've got the turkey breasts here, butter in the bag, bit of salt on the breasts overnight, cooked at the same time and the same temperature as the leg. We're going to put it into a pan with some more oil. So we're just looking to colour and crisp the skin, not cook the flesh side of it, because it's already cooked at the perfect temperature. All of that juice can go into the gravy as well. So
a slice of that, a slice of the roll, and all your sides, some braised cabbage, some roasted roots, crispy potatoes.
I've dried the breasts off, very important. You want nice dry skin, otherwise it'll spit and splatter everywhere. And I'll let that roast till golden brown on the skin side, flip it over and take it off. And we'll serve up.
Yes!
Lucky we only let them off the range once a year, isn't it?
This is the second time this year.
This is start
Only at
lunch
Christmas.
later.
Yeah. I reckon we should make this more regular.
Like the video if you would like to see this happen at other celebrations throughout the year.
And tell us,
Valentine's Day.
oh what, the ultimate no-holds-barred dinner for 2?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm pushing down on the turkey. You can just get a large pan and put it on top, but you want to get full contact on that one side. So we've got our breasts. So it did stick to the steel, but that gives you a better contact. And you've got a lovely golden all over. Take it off the heat. It'll just sit on that side while we carve, get some more heat into the bottom of it because it's been cooling down as it's cooked. Same process, coloured off, but warmed up in a very low oven, about 110 degrees C, half an hour. So I think we're ready to go.
Yes!
Bring it on.
Right. There you go, boy.
Before I even taste it, it smells and looks incredible.
Right, what are we going in for first?
I say go with the breast because it's the harder bit to get right.
Cheers.
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 Everybody gets a slice, everybody gets some of that golden skin, and that is a joy to eat.
That is unlike any turkey breast I've ever had before. It's still moist, it's juicy, it's got flavour, and not just of the butter that is poached in, but it all helps come together.
It's swimming in a puddle of flavour, because that sauce, gravy, whatever you want to call it, is so good.
If you're ever going to invest in sous vide or a water bath, lean proteins like this are another level when cooked like that. You get the herbs.
Yep.
Definitely get the
Yep.
herbs.
There's a bit of acidity in there.
Yeah.
It's fat, it coats your palate.
I was going to say the mouthfeel, but the mouthfeel is creamy.
I know we don't like that word, but that's what we're all targeting.
Bit of leg.
Bit of leg.
It's kind of like turkey meets pigs in blanket meets stuffing all in one. Cheers. For me, it's that boozy mushroom truffliness that supersedes turkey, and it's so good.
This leg feels so rich and so indulgent. And so flavoursome with the pork, with the herbs, with the masala, with the mushrooms, and then the crispiness of the bacon on the outside. Oh, that is everything.
I think this is the kind of food where less is more. It's so rich. Everyone is like, that is so perfect. I don't want to ruin it by overeating.
Yeah, and if you make this, a couple of slices on Christmas Day, you've still got quite a bit to go.
I'm saying that in a breakfast muffin with an egg.
Fantastic.
I think for a lot of people, stepping away from the tradition of having a full roast turkey is a really difficult move, especially depending on who's in your family and their tastes and all that kind of thing. If you can get anywhere close to making something like this,
You'll never go back.
Change Christmas.
You'll
forever.
never go back.
No.
If there's
Bird
anything
roast.
you want to see, comment down below because, well, first of all, Merry Christmas and I hope you give this a go. But secondly, what else would you love to see from an unleashed, unreined Kush?
Unrained again, he's going back to that same
Unrained,
trip.
he loves, yeah.